Hi everyone, so in today's video I will be talking about every book I read so far this year. So let's just get into it and talk about them. So the first book that I finished is Nightfall by Penelope Douglas. This one is the fourth and last book in the Devil Knight series. It's basically about this group of friends in high school, 4 friends in high school, and like every book is about one of them. And they're like super popular and they all have a love interest. And so it tells the story of them like after college or like during college, depending on which one of the books you read, and like in high school. And this one was about my favorite character, Will, and his love interest, Emory. So yeah. So I think this book had a lot of potential, but it is so long. I feel like the author could have wrapped it up in like 450, 500 pages tops. But this book is over 700 pages, which I feel like, I don't know, it didn't do the story any justice. So that's why I gave it 2 stars only, just because it was so long and I just lost like connection to the story and to the characters just because I got lost in the middle. So that's that one, unfortunately. Okay, next up I read Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. This is my favorite read so far this year. So this basically is about Frances, who is a 20-year-old student, and she is a writer, and she and her friend, ex-girlfriend and now best friend Bobby perform poetry. And one day they come in contact with this woman, this journalist, I don't remember her name, Melissa, and she invites them to get like dinner at their house, and there is where they meet Nick, Melissa's husband, and basically the entire book is about those 4 characters connecting with each other, like their relationships. It's a very character-driven story, which I personally love. So yeah, I found this book very funny and I was just rooting for the character from the beginning towards the end, even though she did make some questionable decisions, but I really loved it. I give this 5 stars. Like I said, one of my favorite reads this year. Would highly recommend. Okay, next book I had to read, well, this was Things Fall Apart. I had to read it for one of my English classes. I really like this. It's like a modern classic. It's a story about African culture, Igbo culture, the effects of colonization, and stuff like that. I was like surprised. I did like it. I gave it 3 stars. So next up I started and also DNF'd the Mindfuck series on my Kindle, so I don't have any physical copy of that book to show you. It's about this girl who is like a serial killer, and she starts a relationship with the FBI, who is on her case, and you see like that dynamic going on. So I really like it in the beginning. I was like, the first 100 pages I ate it up, but then something happened. I think that's why I DNF'd it. I'm not completely sure, because everyone I talked to loved this book. Like everyone's like, oh my god, I love this book. Like, didn't you like it? Why were you disappointed? First of all, I think I had really high expectations because everybody was hyping it up so much. And second of all, something happened like somewhere midway in the book, which I cannot really tell you because like I don't want to spoil anything, but it just threw me off a little bit, I think. I don't know. Every time I was like reading past that point, I was like thinking about it, and I think that is maybe why I DNF'd it. Not sure. So yeah, that was not really for me. I cannot rate that book obviously because I didn't finish it. But yeah. So next I read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book was recommended to me. It's basically, like obviously it's been very popular on BookTok, like I've seen it everywhere, but it is about this famous actress who has been married 7 times and shares her story through these journalists that she meets. So I liked it. but I didn't love it. Like, I don't think it's overhyped or anything. I really understand why people like this book so much. But like in the end, there's like this big plot twist going on, and I guessed it. I don't know how, but I guessed it. I was like, oh, this could happen, and this is maybe how they're connected, and then plot twist, they were connected. So yeah, I think that just took away the wow effect for me personally. And I also didn't like Evelyn, which I feel like if you don't like the main character, but I still would recommend it, and I gave it 3 stars. Next up, I read Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. This book, I loved it. So basically, it's a dark romance, which I forgot to say, but Nightfall by Penelope Douglas, obviously also a dark romance. But this dark romance is not dark really, because it's like very smutty or anything. Anyway, but some darker themes come up in this book. The main character, Oliver, I think. Is it Oliver? Oh yes, Oliver. Like he is kidnapped. Like he was kidnapped as a child, and he left everything behind, everyone, his family, and also Sydney, one of his best friends at the time. So like fast forward, I think like 20 years later, they find him. Like he gets reunited with his family. Like like he comes home. And he also gets reunited with Sydney, like his former best friend. And basically it's about him being back and just reconnecting with everyone. Really, really love this one. It's like a friends to lovers-ish soft boy like trope, which I personally... It's just a really good romance book. I really enjoyed it, and I gave it 4 stars, and I would highly recommend this one as well. So the last book I read was on my Kindle, and it's The Silent Patients. This one is a thriller book. Yeah, a thriller. So basically this is about this psychiatrist who gets assigned to this woman who refuses to speak. She murdered her husband several years ago, and ever since she just herself. She never spoke about anything else for that matter, because she just doesn't talk. And the psychiatrist is determined to make her talk again, like make her speak, and just clear up the air about what really happened that day. Twist absolutely blew my mind. Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. And also, if you're into thrillers, or even if you're not into thrillers and you want to get into thrillers, I would highly recommend this book as well. So that were all the books that I read so far in 2023. Thank you so much for watching. Just for the thumbnail, because we need a good thumbnail. And I'm gonna set like this. Ja, ga ik niet doen.